Hi guys. I want to talk about Maltese Falcon just like you guys this week, and so I'm going to just start right out of the bat saying clearly it's a private eye, but also a whodunit. So it was really interesting for it to be our first private eye novel where it wasn't a police procedural or um, just a non expert person trying to figure out what was going on. And I just really got into the private eye character of Sam and thought that was really compelling and really kept my interest. And as I mentioned in one of the discussion forums, I actually listened to the book this week instead of reading it. Because I had a lot of windshield time, and it was really interesting to listen to it. It was word for word, I made sure, but listening to the different voices and how it was interpreted, and I think it was very different than how I would have read it. So I found that to be a neat twist on this week. So, and with Bodywork, I'm actually going to read part of the book and listen to part of the book because I have a lot of travel with that as well. So the Private Eye and the Whodunit, and it was the first book that we've read that's had a recurring character, and in those genres and definitions that we looked at the beginning of the class, it talked about how a lot of books, a lot of crime fiction, detective fiction has that recurring character theme, and so this is the first one we've read that actually has that in Sam Spade, where he appears in several different books and crimes in the series that Dashiell Hammett created. I found it was really interesting that Hammett's birth name was Sam, so that was woven into the book, as well as he lived in San Francisco and was a private eye, did some private eye work himself. So I thought all of that was really interesting in considering the book this week. So also in the biography, it mentioned that after he quit writing and quit working at the private eye agency, and after his stint in the military, that he entered this life of womanizing and drinking and all of that. And I thought that the womanizing part was really kind of not really interesting, but I thought it was strange how it kind of was woven through the book and then also was part of his life. So a lot of parallels between Sam and Hammett. So, on the topic of womanizing, and I think gender issues was a huge part of this book, and we kind of dealt with that a little bit in the discussion forums, but I really spent a lot of time pulling out the gender issues in this book, and especially where the women were concerned with Effie and Bridget and Iva. Also, Gutman's daughter, she was only in one chapter of the book and she was drugged, but how, she had those cuts on her and she had to have Sam hold her up and she was so frail, and then the rooms that he was trying to find her room. One room was clearly masculine, and then her room was more feminine and had the feminine accessories in the bathroom. And I spent a lot of time really digging that out, and is what I'm going to do some of my paper on this week. So I just really think that he had a lot to say about that, and I don't think it was the era so much, and I don't think it was. I really think he was making a statement, and I want to dig into that a little bit more, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. But that was clearly a theme in the book that I pulled out. Also with mood setters, we talked a little bit about San Francisco as the setting, but I think some of the mood setters include fog and cabs and alleys and the trench coats. I thought that was, you always think about the trench coats and hiding the guns in the trench coat under your overcoat, and the cigarettes and the way he'd sit back and roll a cigarette. It was, it was Humphrey Bogart in the movie, but it was very Cary Grant or Casablanca. So I just thought that was kind of a neat spin, and brought out a lot of personality in Sam and some of the other characters. So I like that. I think my aha moment goes to those gender issues and the women in the book. I really think that Effie played a huge role in kind of trailblazing for women of that era, and I think that that Bridget, with the whole damsel in distress kind of aura about her, I think that that was clearly a statement, and then Iva just kind of being the woman you want to be rid of, but she never goes away, and she's the jealous other woman. And so I think that it was my first, the first real theme I dug out and spent a lot of time considering. So it was the first book that we've read that it was more than just reading the book to me and getting the assignment done and getting the things done. It really made me think a little deeper. And maybe part of that was the windshield time and listening to it again. But I really enjoyed the book this week, and I hope you did too. And I'm almost through Bodywork, and I see a lot of similar themes between Maltese Falcon and Bodywork, and find it so intriguing, you know, the time differences and the crime differences, but the similarities in the private eye fiction. So I can't wait to talk about that next week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you later.